So what you do for a living?
A radio, a champion design, and the other one the park. So that's the land I work for development.
So what you doing for a living? Actually, how you
nothing. Nothing. I met the two children. I was strong. One name, child passed away. I had dresser on Broad Street. He died from me from sugar. The other one, Harriet, she was an administrator in the bank. She died in the state. They were carrying for long trouble.
So what your family message to tell we are the president?
I want that we are anything. You know what I want? I want everybody to see that Liberia coming down, not under me. You hear the country coming down, the stringers. The stringers get more strong than us. The stringers, the kind of way they freedom. Even we go for the get stuff over down the feet. We get no the club is on the Liberia get selling food and this and that. He said, "Papa, was told you move and then the deal will do what for you." The first they can say, "Hey, Papa," I said, "Put the way they can pay us." Without 1 year, $1 the name I bring a hat for going there and stop the leg.
Would you like to say a final word to the international community of Grandma?
Yes.
The international community?
Yes.
And where would that be?
We are peace-loving people in Liberia. Yes. I, Mrs. Padio, I'm appealing to the UN, to ECOWAS, to see the situation in this country and help us to make an amicable solution to save our lives and the lives of our children and to save the state. I'm not talking only for myself.
Thank you, ma'am.
But as you can see our condition, hold on, to join see the kind of water, the kind of sight. They cannot take the water on that street. No way we go to the market sell. So people water flash. We get no public works done. We get no price control. My daughter went to the hospital with her bitch. She died. Every day they stay on the telephone. No care for us. They carry you to the hospital. The people in the area, you get money to die. In a jail.
So thank you.
I want to do something. You think that the news of this protest, the international community will look at our area?
Where the water you understand? You know what you will do? Right now, instead, if I learn to you, look at the people we voted for the Senate to be our representative and our Senate. They're fighting among themselves instead of they fight for us. That government we get, and you understand? We are our lives, we are material brother. We are able to I get to say,
thank you, ma'am.
We wanted to be done in goodwill with our brothers. We said the poor people were.
Liberia stands at a crossroad. We've witnessed the mistakes of leaders like Jacob Zuma, Donald Trump, and Mobutu Sese Seko. But now, history is repeating itself. George Weah's leadership echoes these mistakes. Corruption, incompetence, womanizing, violent tendencies, and a stubborn backwardness define his tenure. Our people suffer, dreams fade, and our potential is stifled. Yet, there's hope. There is a better path forward. Joe Boykai, JNB, Uncle Joe, stands for integrity, competence, progress, and inclusivity.
The country has gone backward in every area. Is our corruption stealing with impunity? A country that is on autopilot? because there's no leadership, and we cannot continue to risk the future of unborn generation.
Act now for a Liberia free from the grip of corruption and incompetence. Let's reshape our destiny. Join Joe Boykai's movement, and together, let's rebuild Liberia's future. Think Liberia. Love Liberia. Build Liberia.
Welcome, folks. Welcome to the Monday edition of Talk TV Media Politics, the spotlight, where we shine the light on national issues in Liberia and around the world, around the globe. Welcome to the show, those of you who are with us tonight, wherever you are watching us from. I hope you had a wonderful, wonderful day so far, or a wonderful evening. My name is Sam Gadu. I'm here to bring you the Monday edition here at Talk TV Media Network. A lot to talk about, national issues. Because why? A couple of weeks from now, you'll be going to the ballot box, and a lot is at stake. As a result of a lot being at stake, you have to make a wise decision. You have to make a good choice, simply because the country is at a crossroad. Mama Liberia is at a crossroad. And because Mama Liberia is at a crossroad, she needs you. She needs you. She needs your input. She needs your involvement. She needs your participation. Mama Liberia needs you. She needs you not to sell your God-given right as a citizen of Liberia. That is what Mama Liberia is asking of you tonight. To all of you who are watching, or some of you who live in a diaspora and have relatives back home, call them. Tell them that Mama Liberia needs them. That this is a crucial stage, a crucial time in history. A crucial time in history. Let me set my camera good so you can see me better. A crucial time in history where if Liberia had never needed you before, this is the best time. Liberia needs you. Liberia needs all of us. All of us. So don't sit on the fence, because history will judge you. Your children will judge you. When the country needed you most, what did you do? They will ask you. That is what the words of John F. Kennedy said, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. So it pains me if I sit and watch Liberia dwindles, go down the drain, and not play my role, and not play my part as a good citizen, as a son. That's why I'm here every day. That's why I'm here to talk, to ring the bell, to sound the drum. So those who were here were here. And those who will have ears were here. Are you satisfied with the just ended elections, phase one? Do you see any disparities, corruption, irregularities? Were you satisfied with the process? The process was corrupt. The process was corrupt. Ballot stuffing. Borders are open for trucking of individuals. People who don't live in your locality or your neighborhood or your country coming to make decisions for you. Are you satisfied? Because someone wants to stay in power? No. No well-meaning Liberian who has the love of Liberia at heart will do all of those just to keep themselves in power because they want to be greedy. Are you satisfied with the elections that just ended? Are you satisfied with the process that the National Election Commission is executing? What are the flaws, the positives, the flaws, all of that? Even the reading of election or results every day, with international observers present all across the globe and dignitaries. The Election Commission was always late on their own time frame that they put on their website that this is the time we'll be announcing the results. They were almost every time late more than 30 minutes or more. 30 minutes or more. That's it. If you say you want a level playing field, if you say you are qualified to run a nation, if you say you are called to run a nation, why are you running in the dark to steal votes, to steal ballot boxes? Why are you intimidating people? Why are you creating fear, the fear mongering, scaring people? Why? If you're so confident of the process. Because you have everything to your advantage. The CDC has everything to their advantage because they run the government. They are in charge. They have the money. They have the vehicles. They have the equipment. Even the EU said it, that there is no level playing field when it comes to the opposition in this country. Why? Because they don't care about breaking election laws, because in the first place, who do they have at the head of elections? One of their own. So you see, it is just that sometimes it's very difficult to break the will of the people. When the people are resolved and the people are serious and the people are resolved, it is just so difficult. When God is on the other side, I don't care how you fight. I don't care. Because everything is exposed. Every time you make an attempt, it's exposed. Every time you try something, it's exposed. That's what's going on. By the way, those of you who are joining me, welcome to the show tonight. I just want to make sure I have a sober moment with all of you. Whether you're a sedition, you are a unity partisan, lend me your ears. Let me just open your mind from a broader perspective, from an independent standpoint. Let me speak to your conscience tonight. That's why I'm here. I'm not a UP partisan. Neither am I a sedition. I'm a Liberian. And I am here to speak as a Liberian because I don't like the direction in which the country is heading. And each and every one of you have that same right to speak. You have the same right to speak. Do you see what is happening? What is going on? Voter tracking. Why is voter tracking so important and so rampant now in Liberia during elections, especially with counties that are bordering other countries? Let's discuss that. Voter tracking. The effect, the advantages and the disadvantages. The effect. You are allowing people who do not live in your territory, who do not live in your towns, who do not live in your counties, you are tracking them into the country to come and make decisions for you. And when they are done making those decisions, they are gone back. And now you live under those laws. That is one of the disadvantages of voter tracking. So tonight, I'm here to speak to the people of Lofa, the people of Nimba, bordering of Africa, Maryland, Sino, tonight. Wake up. Those of you who live in those towns, take pictures, video record people, and send it to us. Keep your cameras close. Once you see people trucking in, take pictures, take videos, send it on social media. Talk about it. Or send it to us, the media institutions. That is one way you can help to alleviate the problem. Because there's nothing, you may not stop them, because these big shots that live in those places, they are the one that's sending those people. So what you do now as a good citizen is take videos, take pictures. When you see voter trucking taking place, post them online or send them to media institutions. That's how they go viral. That's how we get a hold of them. That's how we point them out to the international community to see. Because evidence is always important. Let's not just talk about it. We all agree it's taking place. It's undermining the political system in Liberia. So take pictures of those voter trucking when they are taking place across the borders. Take pictures, record videos. Because what you do when they hit Washington, D.C., and human rights and democracy institutions, it will affect the head in Liberia. That's what it would do. So that's how you can contribute. That's just one good way, folks. That's just one good way. Because you don't allow, if Guinea is having elections and they happen to truck you, or Sierra Leone is having elections and they happen to truck you into Sierra Leone to go and vote for whoever is running, you are helping that locality or those people to make decisions that are not going to affect you. Because as soon as you're done, because you are given a piece of dollars or money or whatsoever, you're gone back home. So that is what it does. And our neighbors need to be cognizant of this, to not do this. Our governments that are surrounding us, leaders, political leaders, need to awaken our state brothers. Call the president of Guinea, call the president of Sierra Leone, of Ivory Coast. Your people are destroying our democracy. They are interfering with our democracy. That is what you do. So our political leaders need to be very, very much on top of the game, wherein they call those countries leaders, you know, those who are in leadership in Sierra Leone, in Ivory Coast, in Guinea, and make a report, or make a report to UN when you have all those evidence that your citizens, your country is interfering in our election process. That is what happens. You need to step up. You have to mount the pressure. This is why the spotlight is for. Because we want to shine the spot, the light on the darkness in Liberia, on the things that are wrong, on the things that are suppressing the people, on the things that are making our government make wrong decisions. That is why we're here. We shine the light. We shine the light. The vice president has a tape that is going out online that insinuates tribalism. Madam Joy, I will tell her. Tribalism needs to be aware. She's telling the people, oh, because George people on the Southeast voted for George Weah, so the people of Bond should do the same thing. That's tribalism. That is tribalism. So the people of Lofa, let me tell you now, the people of Nimba or Lofa, y'all who say y'all want to vote for George Weah, you see what the other people saying? The vice president is inciting his people and telling her people that the same way that the people on the Southeast voted for George Weah, the Bond people should vote the same way. So Lofa people, y'all who feel like you're so smart or you're so clear for your minds and your heart, that you don't want to vote for one of your own. That is there for you. I'm not the one saying that. I'm bringing her video right now so you can watch it because it's out of her own lips. Watch.
I have two messages. The first one is that Bonkane should be like the Southeast. The Southeasterners actually showed that George Weah comes from the Southeast. Counted. Regardless of the negative propaganda that went into the process, the Southeasterners realized that if George Weah remains their president, whatever plans and programs they have will be handled. And so they voted to give their support to their son. And I want Bonkane to do the same thing. It's taking us 170 years to derive a vice president. And people should take their eyes off the fact that I'm sitting in the seat. It could be any son or any daughter to give their support to their son. And I want Bonkane to do the same thing. It's taking us 170 years to derive a vice president. And people should take their eyes off the fact that I'm sitting in the seat. It could be any son or any daughter of Bonkane. What my appeal would be, let Bonkane vote for his own. We may be looking at...
I said it, and it's out of her own lips. See, I want Bonkane to vote to do the same thing. But you're sitting now in Lofa, y'all don't want to vote for your own to do the same thing? Yeah. So you see, who's smart now? You're sitting now in Lofa, the vice president telling her own people in Bonkane, say the same way the people to the Southeast voted for George Weah. When this thing should have been a one round long time. You're sitting down, you're feeling sorry. As though, because they understand that if one of your own become the president, the development and the opportunity that you have in your county is unmatched. Do you know? The underdevelopment that took place to the Southeast, nobody blame anybody but George Weah, their own son. Whether roads are fixed, whether bridges are done, whether lights are there or not, it's one of their own. Who did it to them? But why can't we give that chance, that opportunity to one of our own from Lofa? Instead, we want to go against one of our own. So you're saying the other people smarter than us? Or are they wiser than us? This is not a rocket science. It's not that hard to figure out, folks. No, it's not. So rise up and awaken yourself from your slumber. Awaken yourself from your dream and mesmerized dream as though, you know, when the CDC leg government get the second term, they're going to come and fix Lofa County. No, they won't. What you have now is it. Because it's not going to take place. All the resources and everything will be gone to the Southeast. And that is why George Weah is fighting for right now, that he gets the second term so at least he can deliver his people. So guess what? If George Weah becomes president, Lofa County is done already. That's what's taking place. So all our neighboring partners, Sierra Leone, Guinea, all those neighbors that are there need to be aware to stop the trucking or bringing individuals from Sierra Leone, from Guinea, to come and make decisions for you guys. Because when they are done, they're gone. And then now the laws affect you. What you don't like is over you now. Right? That's it. If the vice president of a country can tell her own fellow people and say she likes what the people to the Southeast did for George Weah, to vote him in massively, right? That she wants the same thing. That's tribalism. That's why they bring in. That's the game they bring in now. So why will you, people of Lofa, refuse one of your own? Why will you deny one of your own? Do you know what pride that brings you? To learn that for the first time in history, in the history of Liberia, 176 years, a Lofian is president. Think about it, though. Because for 176 years, all those presidents, none of them have come out of Lofa. Yet, Lofa is the largest, one of the largest county that the breadbasket for Liberia. that feeds Liberia. When it comes to agriculture, hard work, everything, it comes out of Liberia or Lofa. It comes out of Lofa. But we can produce a president. Are we not qualified? Are we not smart enough? Because we already know that we are hardworking people. If Lofa produced a president, if Liberia produced a president, Lofa County produced one president, if they gave this to Lofa one time, the history that we will set, that Lofa was set, it will forever be remembered in the history of Liberia. It will forever be remembered. We will begin to export once again. Jobs creation once again. Because the man who is running is fully cognizant of this. He's aware. As in someone who is not aware. So folks, wake up. Wake up. The suffering is too much for our people. Our people are dying, suffering. Do you know what's happening in Liberia now? Institutional breakdown. Institutions are breaking down. That's what's happening. And that's one area I wanted you guys to understand. Institutions are breaking down in different ways. Because all we see is an institution that is surrounded, individuals that are surrounded against one person, around one person, instead of being institutions. And the bad thing about this is, if institutions break down, there's no accountability, right? People feel they are demagogues because they are the only one that have money. And so everybody goes to them. So they feel they cannot be held accountable. That's what's happening around the George Weah. So when I talk about institutional breakdown, look at it. All the major projects and stuff that institutions need to be handling to do in Liberia, it is George Weah who is appointing people, individuals to handle those projects. And those individuals are not held accountable, because if they were part of the institution, they'll be held accountable. That's what happens when you delegate money to individuals. And so what happened? I'm going to give you a common example, though, because this is so real. MTA in Monrovia. It is an institution that's supposed to be responsible for the Monrovia Transport Company, transporting buses up and down, Cape Mount going up and down, Sinje, all over the place, Banga, Kakata, and all of that. Who is now in charge of those that caused that institutional breakdown? Sir Joseph, one of our own. Because what? The government now gave him the money and delegate everything to him, and everything now he brings he's the one in charge. That's not his area. He's a senator. He should not be working over there. Those areas should be areas of oversight under a senatorial positions, right? But he now is given money, causing that institution to break down. Do you guys remember just a couple of months ago, the Senate had that hearing where those people could not even do anything, say anything. You see the buses around town, yellow buses, Sir Joseph. And so all of that it helps Sir Joseph to win. Why the institution? Language. It took the people out of jobs. Salaries are backed up, can't pay them. Everybody now goes to one person. Sir Joseph is not NTA. No. I'll take you to Lofa, our own brother as well. Right? Thomas Fowler. He's doing the same thing. He's giving a bunch of money. And a lot of you guys know, because these are monies that are supposed to go to these counties and those districts for development. They should not be going through one individual. Instead, they give that to one individual. And that one individual now becomes a demagogue. And he's not held accountable to the district or the county. anymore. He's only held accountable to the president. So whatever he tells the president believes him, fine. If he doesn't, that's it. There is no more system that holds him accountable. So everything now he does, because he has the money, is in his name. Whether the time comes he's working in government, he doesn't work, he has enriched himself already. And people knocking at his doors every day for help, for money, for assistance, and this and that. Instead of going, having an institution that will hold him. I bet you if we had an institution where those monies will go in Foya, in Lofa, and other counties to hold people accountable, people will be careful. So you see all the houses, properties built in Foya. Those are personal properties of my brother, Thomas Fowler. They're not governmental properties. And we see them as development. Our poor people who have a limited mindset see those as development. So if I go to Foya and go buy 10 acres land and begin to develop and build my own properties, right? So what kind of development is that? That's my personal development as a son of that district, if I do that. So he's doing the same thing. So when people talk about, oh, he's bringing development, this man bringing development, no, it's not. It's not. Because those things will not even last. The same thing happened to Margibi, Nathaniel McGill. Nobody knows whether the government in Margibi works, whether it even functions. Only Nathaniel McGill people know. Everything got to come through Nathaniel McGill, one individual. One individual makes a county, a district. Let me tell you what causing a lot of these elections a problem. Just right before the election, President Weah went to work and replaced almost all the magistrates, if you remember. Some of you guys can go and Google that and check that out. It was a long list of replacement of county magistrates, right? So he put in people, he replaced people in those positions that could perpetrate and empower him for the second term to go back. Now, election is taking place in various areas of the country, towns and counties and districts and stuff. After counting those ballots, those votes, those results goes to the local magistrates. And now the local magistrates will send those reports to the National Election Commission. But guess where the part of the corruption is? The local magistrate, if a local magistrate is a sedition, guess what? And that person wants to stay in power, they're not going to do anything against them. In fact, they're going to find ways. So that was catch number one that the Weah-led government did by replacing a lot of the local magistrates. Folks, you need to wake up. But that doesn't mean you should not go November 7th to vote. Your vote counts. They will fight. They will not give up until you vote. Because this one is only between two people now. It's not 20 people, it's two. The choice is clear. Who you want? Joseph Nyuma Boaka, JMB, and Jeremiah Kun are number one on the ballot box. Number one. Number two is CDC. So it's very easy. The choice is very simple now. Very much so. Very much so. So don't give up. Go. And people, this one now, the second round, there are more eyes to the ballot boxes, to the polling stations than ever before. And the funny thing is, it's not going to be like this gone one. Because if they manipulate this one like the gone one was done, you challenged it. You go through a recount. Even though a lot of people believe this gone one, they should do a recount because a lot of shady things took place. A lot of cheating took place. Why is it that our people are suffering? It's simply because we elect bad leaders. We make those decisions. The people, we fight each other to even put the people that are destroying the system in power. And so we continue to fight. We continue to suffer. That is what's going on. Why should we make those decisions? Common sense. Listen to this video.
What is the difference between the ordinary thief and a political thief? Number one, the ordinary thief steals your money, your bag, your watch, and your jewelry, isn't it? But the political thief steals your future, your career, your education, your health, and your business. Number two, the hilarious part is that the ordinary thief will choose whom to rob. But you are the one who choose the political thief to rob you. Because we choose them. We vote them. We blindly say we are not blind. Who is deceiving who? The ridiculous part of the whole issue is that we will fight to defend and protect our belongings from the ordinary thief. Is it not? But we fight each other to defend and protect the political thief. Is that not what we do? Thugs will be fighting themselves to protect those that are stealing our career, stealing our joy, stealing our health, stealing our success. What a shame.
Well said. We are fighting each other to protect those who are stealing our career, our children's future. We fight each other to protect those who are stealing the nation's resources. We are fighting each other and sometimes in Africa killing each other to protect those who are in power, who are destroying institutions. So who is the ordinary thief? Who is the ordinary thief? We are better than that. We know better. We can do better as a people, as a nation, right? We ought to know better. It's not just prayer. Prayer is good, yes, but there is action. Prayer without action, it's not prayer. You got to act. You got to wake up. You got to talk to someone. You got to talk to your neighbor. You got to talk to someone. Call them on the phone. Why it's necessary not to sell your voter card? Because you are only selling your voter card for how long? 1 week to eat $50 and it's finished. And then now you're giving that person 6 years of power to rob the system. This is how, that is one way you are protecting the political thief. That is one way you are protecting the political thief. Right? Watch this other piece too.
Those who voted for change must have now realized that the president they voted for has kept this country paralyzed. If you voted for him, but you're also feeling the pain, I hope you do your best to see it never happens again. Are you waiting for the change? You'll be waiting in vain. I don't think that this government employed anybody with brain. It's only gonna get worse, and the truth is you can't complain. For the suffering and all the pain, you only have yourself to blame. We should have never voted a candidate without a certificate.
Those who voted for change, is anything going your way? If you voted for change and you're not seeing that change, repent. It's time. Forget money. Vote your conscience. Vote for prosperity. Vote for good hospitals. Vote for a good educational system. Vote for employment, where people are not standing in the streets begging every day and knocking at your doors. And you're taking the back door to your fence, trying to escape because you're tired. When you go to the front door, you're going to meet people waiting for you, asking for handouts. That is not Liberia. That's not us. We're better than that. We're better than that. Vote for a better environment. Vote for good roads. Vote for good sanitary environment. Good water. Vote November 7th. Vote. The song says those who voted for change, those who voted and the change did not come. The things that you expect to see, you didn't see those things. And you have the opportunity this time around to vote again. Don't vote them in. Go the other way. It won't hurt you. As long as you know that you are voting for a better change. You're voting for a better. Can you imagine? Even the vice president is telling people to vote tribally. To vote tribally. So Nima County, y'all please close the border. Lofa County, please, if you love Lofa, shut the border down. Because this time, we're going to keep a strong eye. Thank God for phones and cameras everywhere. That's what we'll be doing. We'll be doing just that. We'll be doing just that. You have a dysfunctional public works. Public works, their job is for good robot. Everything, all the money and whatever they're doing is just patching roads. They're just patching the roads. They're patching it. They say the public works. The work they're supposed to be doing is what? The job they're supposed to be doing is what they gave to Thomas Farr. The job they're supposed to be doing is what they gave to Sir Joseph. Public works. Joshua is creating demigods around him, while himself remains a king god. That is not how you run government. Government by the people, for the people, and of the people. That's government, where people are held accountable, where the system at least is working. You know what makes these nations, when our leaders travel, they come overseas and they see other people, government, Belgium, Netherlands, USA, Great Britain, Canada. Do you know why those nations are doing well? Because they have a system that works. They have systems in place. They have checks and balances. And a system, when you go against the system, you are penalized. The system will hold you accountable. That is the importance of a system. But if you just put individuals in charge, they feel like they are above the system. They feel like they are the system. They feel that they cannot account to anyone. They feel that as though they are little demigods. They feel within themselves that if they don't help people, those people will suffer. When you only put people in power and you give them system, entities, money where institutions need to function, while those institutions are failing, only those individuals are gaining. It's only coming to their benefit. Folks, I'm here to speak to your conscience because your vote matters. Very much so. Your vote matters. And I need you to think as we move towards November 7th, that no amount of money, no bag of rice is above that vote that you are going to cast. None of that. So I urge you to do the right thing. Do the right thing. Watch this next, please.
The Liberian people would like to see justice. They like to see ill-gotten wealth restored or people who got rich overnight to account. I don't think it's a bad thing for you to say, this is what I did and this is what I got out of what I've done. We continue to see a country that is without good roads, children without hope for education, and people are getting rich overnight. I don't think it's a bad thing to ask them to say, how much did you earn within the period and how were you able to get what you have? I think that's what the Liberians would like to see, and that's what I would like to do. From Mr. Weah to power, we were told that rice price was going to come down to $500 a bag. $500 a bag, Liberian dollars, you compute at a rate of 150. Today, rice, they just announced, is over $17 US a bag. And you tell me, for people, most of whom are earning less than $100, I don't know how they can afford that, send their children to school and go. So it is not true that food price has come down. Life is very difficult in Liberia. I live there. Start with what the Liberian people, touching the lives of the small people in agriculture. If 70 to 80% of the people depend on agriculture, I want to start with that, where I worked before, and I know that it was possible that at a time we were importing only about 30% of our staple food. And the potential is there. The soil is there. The farmers are there. All the cooperatives that we had that were working, none of them are functioning. Liberians, even the cocoa and coffee we used to export, there's no market for it. I have gone in the rural community and I've met Liberians. If you want to export your cocoa and coffee, you have to take it to Guinea, because all the marketing channels that were set up, nobody has paid attention to them. We have to start giving the people hope from where they believe and what they know. And I know we are able and we have the potential to at least produce food to feed a country in a reasonable way.
So do you see what I'm talking about? Someone who understands the system, because they understand the system is equitable distribution of resources. Joseph Nyumabaka understands that. He understands, he worked in the system, and he did not corrupt himself into the system. That character is there. So because he worked in the system almost, most part of his life, what do you expect? He knows how it works. He knows where the corruption lies. He knows how to clean it out. He knows. And that is why he's talking about, agriculture. Because that's one area where he worked. Agriculture, the capacity and the importance of agriculture to the nation of Liberia. He understands that. He understands the importance of good roads. Because when you have good roads, farm to market roads, for all over the county or the counties and districts, there's a mass circulation of commerce, industry taking place. People are moving from market, but when you leave right now from Lofa, from Vonjama to go to Zozo, it's going to take you all day because of bad road. You're stuck with all your produce. If you say you're going all the way from Monrovia, it's going to take a day plus or 2 days because you're in the mud. But imagine if you have good roads, quota, all built. It's just a couple of hours. The third world countries understand that. Commerce every day. And that's why here, the taxes we pay here, people use them. The government uses those taxes to build good roads. Even in the towns and villages, wherever you think, there is a quota road. You want kotaro on your farm, sir? You can put it there. So when you harvest your crop, nothing holding you back. You're not in the mud. Your tires getting cut, puncture, all that stuff. You're moving. You take it out, you sell it, you come right back. So Joseph Walker understands what it means to have good roads. Right? That's it. He understands agriculture to the extent where we produce for ourselves and we have enough and export. Export, most of it. Where we make money. Because when your country begins to export, you stand at a very good stage, world stage. Now, you're competing, right? People are competing. People want your products. That's it. And especially in this day and age where the word starvation is on the increase, where the word need is lacking of food. Liberia is blessed, immensely blessed, with resources, natural resources, good forest, good land, rich soil, all of that. So we are better. We need to realize if we don't elect the people who understand how it works and who understand and knows how to clean the system, it's not that much of a rocket science to figure out 6 years under WIA what his government is made of. It's not that difficult because why? It's there. It's evident. Nobody have to say it to you. Indiscriminate killing of people, people getting missing, and nobody knows. No accountability. Right? Kush, drugs coming into the country here and there with big hands involved inside. So nothing happens though. It's all gone undercover. Yeah, we see our children in the street dancing zombies and crazy and like whatever, drugs. That entire generation is going under. That is what this is doing. That is what this government is doing. That when we get their minds crazy, they're not thinking right, they're not making sound decisions, then we can do what we want to do. So they allow drugs into the country. Imagine when you're high. If you've ever been high before, those of you who smoke, because I don't, never tried before, right? Or you drink, you get a little bit tipsy or drunk. Can you make a good decision? No, you don't. You don't make a sound decision when you're tipsy or drunk. That is what's happening to our generation, to our children, the future leaders of tomorrow, those who will be coming after us to run Liberia, to lead Liberia. Society is getting messed up. But if you have a good system in place, that system will put a barrier to the borders, entry points into the country, and prosecute people who are found with those paraphernalias, whatever you call it. Because if you catch people and you let people go and you're not prosecuting them, what do you expect? You're making things worse. You're not helping. Drugs is killing our nation. Oh, yes. Drugs is killing our nation. The lack of accountability is not helping either. People feeling that they were given power, state power, and now they feel that state power they are being given to, that people need to serve them instead of them serving people. Instead of them serving their nation, their country. The people gave you state power, then you want them to serve you when you are the one who's supposed to be serving them. That is why JFK said, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. Those are the words of John F. Kennedy. Those are the words. I got the people. I have the people promo here, so I gotta play it. I gotta play it. So y'all bear with me. Let me play it.
When I beat that trouble, broke on 2023. The second election will come and go for. This one will be between two parties. They will come and go for the again. Yes, we come and go for again. Stick it right there, brother. They all 40 Papa Joseph Numa Baga will win. You just talking it out. You don't even know a position on the voting paper. Who tell you he on number 1 on the voting paper? Oh, he on number 1? The other 40 will go do. He will be number 1 on the voting paper. There are 2 men and said this each other. Joseph Numa Baga and Jeremiah Kun said this each other. And you go vote. Rest Jeremiah Kun. That they play the bass and you must put it there. But don't mess it up. The first bass Jeremiah Kun. Put it aside the first man in the first bass. The rescue mission ready to win this election. Play, my people. My people, shine your eye. Vote Joseph Newman Parker and Jeremiah Kun. Number 1 on the ballot paper, yeah. The rescue team say you should vote number 1 on the ballot paper. The rescue mission is ready to walk away with victory in the runoff election. Vote number 1, Joseph Newman Parker and Jeremiah Kun to victory during the runoff election. Think Liberia, love Liberia, and build Liberia. Ghana was a crime, everybody crying, police people crying, army people crying, nurses are crying, teachers are crying, who got them? They push killing us, who got them? Corruption killing us, who got them?
They say the teachers are crying, the nurses are crying, the doctors are crying. Kush, drugs is killing the youth. And all we know to do is to dance. That we can dance. That's what's happening. To dance, to appeal to the people by dancing. Who can dance? Ain't nobody can dance in this world more than me. If dancing is what's supposed to make me the president of Liberia, I will win today. I will easily win. So all that Buka dancer and all that stuff, that's not what the presidency is for. That's not what it's for. The kush is killing our young people, according to that promo. The nurses are crying. The doctors are crying. The teachers are crying. People's salaries are being harmonized. And they're crying. Ministry of Transport, that brings most of the money into the country to generate. No go pay. Recently, workers of finance, just right before the gone election, took to the street to protest. Their pay. But guess what? If you work within a party and you hold a position to push the party agenda, oh yes, you will have all the sweet and everything coming to you. In fact, the car that you cannot afford, it will give you. You see, when I talk about the system not working, so it's just individual enrichment. Instead of enriching the entire state and country where everybody can go out there and thrive on their own and be able to generate and get something that they don't have to just get out there and just ride a keke or a motorcycle, that is the only job, the only way of living that they have. Riding a motorcycle in America is for pleasure. In Liberia, it's for serious business, for food, to go on the table. So you see, why is it that there is a difference between riding a motorcycle in America and that in Liberia? Because the people system here, they put a system in place where it works, where people have jobs. You go, you work, except you want to be lazy. That's it. Except you want to be lazy. You can go to this job today, you fill up application, you know, you work there, they fire you, or they don't fire, or you leave and go find another job. Because the people created their system like that. It works. Can you do that in Liberia? No. If you have a motorcycle in Liberia, that's zero money making thing. That's zero job you get. So that's it. That's it. Because we fail to build our institutions. We fail to realize that when the institution is built and there are checks and balances and people are held accountable, it helps that entire generation and the generations to come. That is what we need. Not funding some individuals. You give $1 million to an individual and they go sit down in one county to handle everything, where you have superintendents, you have district commissioners and paramount chiefs. All of them, they're not getting none of those funds. Only that one individual that everybody look up to as though they are a god. You can't do that. Who does that? What kind of way of running a government is that? Well, you take $1 million, you give it to one individual, go sit down in the county. Because at that point, that individual feel like they are above the law. They are above even the superintendent and whoever else, even the lawmakers in that country, in that county. Because that's what money does. When someone gets money, they feel empowered. They feel like if they don't have the fear of God and the humbleness, when someone handles money, they feel like nobody can talk to them. Some of you that have had money, you know. Because money carries a different spirit behind it, a different value. Until God drops you down just like that, you feel it. But when you handle money and you're not used to handling money, but you handle certain kind of money, you feel very proud. You become arrogant. Nobody can talk to you and you listen. Because you feel like everybody is under you now. Even the people that know better than you, they feel like you will feel like you know. That is what's happening to this generation. That is why or how the CDC-led government has empowered the youth. Someone who is not used to handling $5,000 US or $10,000 ever in their life. Now they got 20,000, 50,000. You have carried them insane and crazy. So you see what happened in that case? That person will do whatever it takes. Even some of them, they'll put their life on the line to defend you, even if they are defending you blindly. That's what happens. Money, mullah, cause trouble. That's it. It causes trouble. It causes trouble. If you don't have the fear of God inside you, and you don't have to have, if you don't have that common sense and realize that money will come and go, that what matters most in life is people, the development of people, human resource investment into people's lives, that matters far more than the money that you have sitting down under your pillow. Because the banking system is not even functional the way it's supposed to function. Because the government is crediting so much money. You, the government, you have so much resources available, but you're just borrowing money from the government, from the banking private institutions and stuff. You're leaving everything vulnerable. The coffers of these institutions are empty. Nothing in there. They're struggling. In fact, some of them are scared to ask you the money they lend you, the government, to pay, because there's no money. You get the money, the ATM is to your house. The ATM is to the minister's house or to the president's house. Instead of the ATM being at the bank, where the senators, where the ministers, including the president, will have to go and bank his money, where it can be seen, where it's open to the public, not to the public, but to a system. But they get their money, they corrupt, they steal, they take it out of the country. And wherever you bank the money, the unique thing about banking is this. Let me say this before I close. Do you know what banks do with your money that you put in the bank? They make business with that. They trade. That's why a bank is an institution. I gave you I've been talking about the institution, the government institution, but let me give you how a system, institutional banking system works. You deposit your money in a bank, and it's begin to trade with your money. They make enough profit, and they tell you they're only giving you this much interest every month, right? But they're playing with your money. They're making a lot of profit with your money. That's what they do. If you want to borrow, you have to go through a process before they lend you money. They have to scrutinize you, or you have to give in a collateral, especially those of you in Liberia. You have to give in a collateral. Those of us here in the U.S., they have to check your credit history, and all of that stuff, right? And all the other whatever that goes down the line in order to qualify you or to give you. Well, you see, those people that you are credit worthy, they do that to know that you will pay them back their money, that you are financially and fiscally disciplined, that they're not just giving their money to anybody. And so in Liberia, they use what we call a guarantee. Some of y'all, you will either get your land deed or your house deed to them before. So in the future, in the event that you don't get to pay, what happened? They have the right to come and seize your property because you sign those dotted lines, giving them the power and the authority that if you don't pay, they have the right to go to the court, and the court will give them the right to come and take your property in replacement of the money they loan you. That is a system. That's what makes it very hard for an individual to fight a banking system. Very hard. Because when you have a good system in place, an individual cannot just fight a system. Very hard. Very difficult. Because they have a system. You're fighting an entity, even if there's a lawsuit. That's why in Africa, most cases, people will just let it go. And they lose the property. Because they have a system in place. Liberia's system is breaking down. The monetary system in Liberia is breaking down. The government is breaking down by institutions wherein they are given jobs, responsibilities that entities and institutions need to handle or run to individuals. That is danger. That's danger. So folks, I got the people commercial here and I'm out of here. My time is up. It's a 1 hour show today, the Monday spotlight. And so I have to play the people commercial and then I'll be out of here. Those of you who follow me today, thank you. I hope a lot, today made sense to you. But listen to the commercial.
Liberia stands at a crossroad. We've witnessed the mistakes of leaders like Jacob Zuma, Donald Trump, and Mobutu Sese Seko. But now, history is repeating itself. George Weah's leadership echoes these mistakes. Corruption, incompetence, womanizing, violent tendencies, and a stubborn backwardness define his tenure. Our people suffer, dreams fade, and our potential is stifled. Yet, there's hope. There is a better path forward. Joe Boykai, JNB, Uncle Joe, stands for integrity, competence, progress, and inclusivity.
The country has gone backward in every area. Is our corruption stealing with impunity? A country that is on autopilot because there's no leadership, and we cannot continue to risk the future of unborn generation.
Act now for a Liberia free from the grip of corruption and incompetence. Let's reshape our destiny. Join Joe Boykai's movement, and together, let's rebuild Liberia's future. Think Liberia. Love Liberia. Build Liberia.